Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, we will be reviewing the Panasonic HC-V500M HD camcorder. Please stay tuned. I've been really busy behind the scenes of the Gear Obsession channel trying to update a lot of equipment to try to, first of all, make editing and importing and encoding and videotaping and everything faster and a little bit better. You might see a little bit of improvement, but most of it's behind the scenes. And one of the things is the new video camera. The other thing is actually going to come in tomorrow, probably review it next week, and that's a new Apple Mac Mini. And we'll talk about that next week. So anyway, why did I go out and get another camera when I already have a perfectly good HD camera? Well, first of all, the lens is not very wide, so I had to back this camera up all the way to the wall, and I wanted the camera with a wider lens when you had it, all the way zoomed back. The other thing is that the tripod socket on the back of the bottom of this camera, which I'll show you in a minute, is starting to crack from taking it on and off and on and off, so I could get the memory card out. So, also some lighting issues that I wanted to go ahead and take care of also. So anyway, what's the big deal about this camera? The Panasonic HC-V500M. Normally a $400 to $500 camera. It's relatively new, and for some reason the price, I came across it for half the price. So you could probably find this for the unbelievable low price if you look just a little bit, about $250. And that M, the V500M, this M means that it has built-in memory, 16 gigs. I don't actually use it. I still use memory cards, but you get the version without the memory, the V500, for probably as low as $220, and it's the identical camera but without the memory. But this is what they had, so I went ahead and got it. And it's good to have some backup memory just in the camera standing by, just in case you run out of the card or the card goes corrupt. So anyway, there's an awful lot of features here. I'm going to sort of read off the camera. Sorry for the noise real quick, but for a camera in this price range, you're not going to get one of them super triple sensors or huge sensors or anything. When I say sensor, I mean the image sensor. But it has a 5.8 high sensor, MOS sensor. It's actually a relatively good sensor. Total pixels is 1.5 megapixels. It has a wide f-stop opening at 1.8, which means it lets in a lot of light, an unbelievable amount of light. And the optical zoom is 38 times, and it could do a digital zoom to some crazy 2500, but unlike a lot of cameras, this actually has an outstanding digital zoom, and we'll see that here shortly. Shutter speeds have a very good range from 1/60th of a second all the way to 1/8000th of a second. Just really good range of exposure values, and the lens is really good. This thing has the capability of doing 1080p at 60 frames a second. I'm probably never going to do that for anything here on YouTube because the pictures would be just obscenely huge. The one other thing that really, well, let me not bore you anymore with the specs because you go online and check that out. One of the things I like is that the cover automatically opens and closes, as you can see there. Another thing that's really cool is the big 3-inch touchscreen. Everything is touchscreen, which I like. The other thing is that the tripod socket is not close to where the memory card is, so I can go ahead and leave the tripod mount on here and not have to take it off every time I want to take the card out. Another thing is this has a light. It has a light on the front. And usually HD cameras in this price range usually don't have a built-in light, and it actually works pretty good. Also, like I said, nice wide angle lens there. So all in all, I think this will be an improvement. The other important thing is, and this is only important if you're a Apple fanboy or you use Macs. I use iMovie to do all my video editing. And one of the really nice things about this is that you can record in the iframe format. And all that means is on a Mac, you could just copy basically the movies right onto your computer, and it's editable. It doesn't have to be converted in any way. So that's the difference of, taking 10 to 15 minutes of video and spending, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes. It all depends on the speed of your computer, your Mac, importing those pictures. Now it's like a minute, if even that. It's just bang right there. So it's nice that it natively supports that Mac iframe format without needing to convert. So anyway, again, going back to the unboxing, it comes with a box. It comes with some audio cables. It comes with a USB cable, so you could transfer pictures via a USB. It comes with the typical power brick that you plug in to charge it. It comes with a really good manual. And it comes with a warning about the power supply. I think it says caution, do not eat or use, I don't know, stupid. Other things that people generally like to know about these guys is, it could do still pictures. It does have an HDMI. It does have an HDMI out. It does have a audiovisual multiple cable where this guy plugs in so you can get all that AV out. It does have the USB plug. Now, another thing about this camera, which is absolutely incredible, one of the crazy good things about this camera that stands out above cameras at twice the price is the stabilization. And we'll go ahead and see that with some of the pictures here coming up. So I'm going to very quickly swap out cameras so you can see what it looks like here, and then we'll go to some other pictures that I took outside right before I started this right here. So you can see how much wider everything gets with this lens. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up real quick. I'm also videotaping at a 1080p, so you could sort of see how the camera's, what the camera's capable of, because when I have it set into the iframe format, it's not going to be as good as the full 1080p that the camera is capable of. It actually, this is not even the best. This is the best that I could do, that I could still be in the format that iMovie can import, because this thing has the 1080 by 60 frames a second 1080p, but it's in a format that iMovie ain't going to handle. So this is another format. It has a couple different ones, so at least you'll be able to see at least the best that I can provide you. Again, we'll go ahead and keep the mic away, so again you could appreciate the sound or disappreciate the sound that this has, but it is a review of the camera, so part of it is the sound. So here's my camera I've been using for almost 2 years now. This is my Sony HD camera. What model is it? It is the HDR CX 110, and it still works really good. The problem that I'm having with it, as you can see, around the tripod socket's cracking all up, and the reason why is because in order to get the card out, I have to, take it off. So it's kind of a pain in the butt that they had it so close, but at least with this camera, it's not so close. So anyway, the other night, see, this has a 25 times optical, and this guy here has a 38, which is pretty cool. So we're basically in the iframe format now. Now the one shot where I did the 1080p, that thing, basically it was a 1-minute clip, and it takes 2 minutes to convert while it's importing into iMovie. For a 1-minute clip in the iframe format, which it's in right now, it's like a couple of seconds, bang, right in it. So it's going to make editing and everything a lot easier for me. For you might see a little bit less quality. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I usually encode and push this to YouTube in 720p. So anyway, like I said, I had this outside about an hour ago. I had a couple of visitors out there behind my yard, and I can maybe show off some of the zoom and image stabilization of this camera. So stay tuned. This is with stabilization. This is pretty incredible stabilization considering I'm at 50 times and I'm still holding this by hand. And we're pretty far away here, just to show you. That's 50 times. And the stabilization in this camera is absolutely incredible. It's also pretty incredible that Mr. or Mrs. Deer happened to come by at the same day that I'm doing a review on this camera, so I thank her. Again, stabilization is on, and it's absolutely incredible. Again, I'm holding this by hand, and it's about at 60 times zoom, and I'm holding this with my hand. I'm going to show you what it looks like without stabilization. Okay, same shot, going in to the same amount of zoom, trying to hold it as steady as I possibly can. You can see, I'm not even there. I'm at, oh yeah, I'm right at about 60%, and you can see that I cannot hold this steady. So it's incredible the job that the stabilization in this camera does. Again, stabilization on. Really helps you get these incredible shots. Oh, deer butt. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and zoom up on this little birdhouse, or the bird feeder, which you can barely see right now. And I went ahead and unlocked the abilities of the digital zoom. Now, digital zoom really degrades the picture, but it seems to be less so with this camera. So let's go ahead and zoom in. I'll let you know when we hit the optical limit of the lens. Whoops, it does help if I zoom in here. Okay, so at 38, right about there is about the limit, the optical limit of it. Now again, I'm holding this. So now we're going into the digital zoom ability. And we are, whoa. That's about 120 times right there. And you could go up to over, let me see, what does this go up to? About 2,500 times. You can see it gets pretty pixelated at this point. Keep in mind I'm also holding this by hand, which is pretty incredible. I couldn't do this without the stabilization. This is to demonstrate the full power of the zoom and the digital zoom together with the optical of the moon. Zooming in. 17 times. 38 times, which is the optical alone. And now we're using the digital. It's about 190. There's 500. That's about 1100. That's about 2500 right there. You can see it's too pixelated there. But the moon keeps on moving. Of course, when you're at this, there we go. So that's about 600 times right there. Pretty incredible that I'm doing this with a camcorder. Pretty impressive, huh? Well, anyway, I give this camera a 9 out of 10 at the $250 price range. As far as the original $400 to $500, I'd probably slip it down to 7 or 8 out of 10. But again, it varies with what price you get it. But I do highly recommend this camera. I do notice that sometimes the colors go a little out. You can sort of lock them in the settings because it's trying to adjust for some really weird lighting. And you know, the spotlight that's fluorescent is going to play havoc on some cameras. So you know, that's one of the downsides, I think, to this. You got to watch the colors. I think I really covered everything, so I really appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and you, and I hope you have a great weekend, and please take care. Bye. See you Tuesday.